welcome everyone to another Soul Power session with me, Louise, from Soul Signature. We are tuning into healing our ancestral lineage today. Hot topic, and it's been very on point. I have my son having some issues. We've been working with Ancestry in, I'm doing a songwriting program, so it feels like it's very kind of alive. So I don't know whether that's the case for you as well, but it's always a beautiful service for us to tune into those who came before, those who are coming after us, and to tune into what's sitting there, maybe that's showing up in our lives that we can work with, that we can heal up, so that we can access more of the gifts and the wisdom which are definitely there and have probably just been obscured by experiences of trauma, whatever that is sitting in your line. Today's our opportunity to do some healing around that so that we can be good ancestors. How do you become a good ancestor for all those who come after you? It's probably not something you think about. Don't tend to think of ourselves as the ancestors, but one day you will be the ancestor of all those who come after you. So, and whether that's, directly from yourself or just as part of family lines or part of even who you parent through your being in other ways. So I think it's good to think about that in other ways, particularly now when we really are learning to find our soul tribe and our soul family. So, it's a good path of inquiry, I think, which we're going to drop into today. So in a minute, we're just going to drop in just a little overview of how this works today. If you haven't been on one of these calls before, we will drop in, do some tuning in. I usually share a channeled message. I'm actually going to do a different process today, and I'm going to share a song with you, if I can work out how to do that came through for me about ancestors. It's just about a minute, but might help you to kind of connect into the sense of, all of that goodness that's there in your ancestral line. Then we're going to do some clearing using the compassion key, beautiful tool of spoken self-directed compassion. So we're always in this process going to be sending ourselves the compassion about our ancestors. We're not sending the compassion to our ancestors, even though that's a lovely thing to do, but that's not how this process works. We're clearing up what's held for us, our perceptions of them, our feelings, the experiences that maybe we're having, which are connected to them. And in that clearing of those experiences for ourselves, clearing of how we feel about their experiences, that just creates some space for them to let go of whatever they're holding and which is influencing you, just to create some space for all of us to feel more free, more at peace, and to open up to the gifts and the wisdom that's there in our blood, in our DNA, in all of those beautiful souls who have come before us. And then towards the end, I will do a light language activation, invite that through to help us to really stand in the gifts and the wisdom of our ancestry and how we can express that in our lives, so we can really complete in a really positive space around this. So you've all shared when you registered a few of the things that are coming up for you, which is beautiful. So we'll weave those in. We'll use the chat as well. Please use the chat to share what's coming up for you as we do the clearing. That's super helpful. That's one of the beautiful things about being together in a group, and we can collectively heal more than we can just on our own. It's a beautiful process together. So let's take a breath and drop in. And as you do so, just really today, let's really take a moment to feel into our bodies. And I know we have many lineages. It's not just our earth lineage, our human lineage, but let's start with that. Yes, we're connected to star lineages, soul family, but let's really begin with our bodies and feeling that deep connection to our blood and our bones and our DNA. Feeling all of the information that's there, that's encoded there, that we received when we chose to drop into a physical incarnation, take on a physical body, that we, and really standing that place that your soul chose, the constellation, the family that you wanted to be born into, chose that lineage, that there was richness there for you. Maybe you didn't know exactly how that was going to play out. And certainly in your human experience, you might not have understood that that was a choice. And you just received all of the impacts of what was there in the lines. But of course, we are in such a powerful time that we can work with that information. We can recode that. And that's what the light language activation actually is doing, working at that level of the DNA. And all of you have a beautiful frequency, and you can work on all of this. You can look back and see what's there and what's sitting there. You can feel that. You can see how it shows up in your life. And that is all wonderful information for us to work with. So let's take a breath of gratitude for our bodies, for everything that they've experienced, and for everything that has been experienced before that is still carried in your cells, in your DNA. It's there, written there. You can imagine it like a written code, and all of the experiences that happen, you know, they get inscribed on that gets passed on, that gets altered. So we're in the process perhaps of rewriting stories, rewriting experiences, and really I invite you today to really sit in the power of yourself to do that, to heal back and forward through the generations, simply by having that awareness, that consciousness, that willingness in your heart, in your body, to offer that gift. Because it's such a gift that we have that awareness and that consciousness, and that you've chosen to be here today to really offer this to your ancestral lines, to do a little bit of cleaning up, perhaps, of all that got a little bit distorted over time. So feeling all of that kind of buzzing in your body, and really inviting in beautiful Gaia to support us, feeling the earth beneath your feet, holding us, held. All of our human ancestry, our human lines have trodden the same earth. So feeling that, feeling the love and support that's always been there for them and for us. And also inviting in your higher self and the higher selves of your ancestors as well, to hold all of us in this space today, to hold each aspect of ourselves as well, trusting that the process today will be in the highest for all of us and all of our ancestry, and asking that also be received today by all beings on the earth. We all ultimately are interwoven as one big human family. So as we do our clearing today and our presencing with love and compassion, that we offer that up to the world, to all those that have perhaps got lost in all of those patterns of wounding and are still playing those out unconsciously. So we get to choose how we create the future, how we can be good ancestors for the humans that come after us and live into a brighter future. So feeling all of that within you, feeling the love and support of your own higher self, teams of light holding all of us, creating this beautiful space for us today. And while we're sitting in that space, see if I can share the song with you. Let's see if I can do a share of audio only. Let's see. So this is a song that really came through when I was tuning into my ancestry and feeling that there must have been some good people there, you know, who would have held me, supported me, blessed me, guided me. So feel into that for yourself as you listen. It's only about a minute.
You're in my blood, though I never knew you. You're in my bones, though I never saw you. You're in my heart, though I never held you. Ancestors guide me now. You're in my blood, though I never knew you. You're in my
All right. So some of those words were around, feeling loving arms holding you, loving eyes seeing you, loving voices singing your name, right? And that we find each other again and again. So just that sense of we can be guided here, blessed by our ancestors. So I want to invite you today, and we're just going to drop into a little process now to tune into the whys and the well of your ancestry. Sometimes you might go to places and they'll just say, let's call in the ancestors. But when we're calling on ancestors to guide us, we want to call on the whys and the well, right? And there will be those in our lines, right? There will be the wounded ones too, but there will be always somewhere, someone along the line. So I want to invite you just to drop into a little meditative process to start with today, where we're going to call in one of the whys and well of our ancestry. So just inviting you to take a moment to close your eyes and to have a sense, either you can do this a couple of ways. So you can either sense that your mother and father are in front of you, and if you were adopted, you can have both sets of parents. You can have a sense of your biological parents and also your adoptive parents, because that lineage will also have influence to you. And then you can either sense that all of the ancestors are kind of standing behind them and expanding out behind them, or you can imagine that you are standing at the center of a circle and that your family, the generations are around you in concentric circles. So whatever feels right for you. And if you're not a visual person, just have a sense of your ancestors gathering around you and see if you can just feel into all of those individual souls, as well as the dynamics of all of the family constellations and the generational patterns within your ancestry. And you could, even if it feels helpful, imagine yourself rising up and looking down with an eagle's eye view of all of these people and the webs of their lives stretching back to the beginning of time, to the beginning of your lineage. So just take a moment to sit with that. And you may see this as lights, as colors, as threads, as, all sorts of different ways. You might get a very kind of more of a metaphoric kind of expression of the energies there. But look, what I'm wanting you to look for right now, whatever you're noticing, is to see, where is there one bright light that you could invite to step forward today to support you and to answer some questions for you. So I'm going to put the questions in the chat. I'll let you tune into them. So it's really three main questions. I just expanded it. Okay. So as you're sitting with that sense of that wise and well ancestor, see if we can help you to answer these questions. What is calling to be healed in my ancestral lines? How can our group clearing today support my ancestors to feel free and at peace? Okay, so that's really the first question. The second question is, what are the gifts held in my line that I could tap into, and who could help me to activate those and guide me to take steps to honor those gifts? So more a question around the gifts. And finally, really just encapsulating those is, how can I be a good ancestor to all who come after me? So I know that's a bit there, but just let yourself sit with this, the presence of this guiding light ancestor, and just get them to help you, and along with your own higher self. And maybe just take a couple of minutes. You can share directly in the chat, or you can write down and then share in the chat afterwards. So just having a sense, firstly, what is there that would like to be healed? I know we shared a little bit, but just let them tell you, how can you serve them today? What would like to be healed? So maybe type that in the chat. I'm going to type in the chat. I'm going to type a few things that I've noticed. Beautiful, yeah, because mother child bonds. When they martyrdom and self-sacrifice. Women. Sacrificed duty for the men. I see a lot of that in my line. abandonment. Isn't that beautiful? So let's just take this guilt and obligation. Fantastic. Scared to death to be here and we don't belong. War and politics. Yes. Oh my goodness. And there's a pattern that keeps perpetuating. Yeah. Poverty, I think again, and loss, grief, losing children. Some people, I was doing a session with someone the other day, and that was a big theme. You know, the loss of children. Sometimes we see these patterns passed on. We've done wrong. There is no redemption. So yeah, like a self-forgiveness. So just feeling that, feeling into your lines. What do they want to offer up? You can also imagine them perhaps bringing these things to the circle today. Like maybe I can actually see ancestors kind of passing bundles along the line, right down to the front where you are. And perhaps you're even might even feel that you're kind of, it's almost like a campfire gathering, and you're tending this fire, and they're all passing along the lines. You know, I can actually see, you know, sort of singing as they pass all these things along the line that they don't want to carry anymore. So pain and suffering of humanity, disconnection from power to transform and heal. Yeah, heart power. Yeah, beautiful. Yes, 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 Cicely. Yeah, I'm really feeling that, and just, you know, feeling all of this that's getting passed forward that they just don't want to carry. It's all kind of gathering up, and we're going to be clearing it today with the fire of our own loving compassion. All right, so we're starting with that, and now let's feel into a little bit of the gifts. All right, what are the gifts? Who's there that wants to share gifts with you? What are the gifts? Maybe they're a gift you haven't been aware of. Just, you know, the healing, for me, you know, healing power of song. I'm feeling like I'm really, really reclaiming something from my ancestry here, you know, just knowing that women would have sat together and sung, and that would have been such a beautiful way, you know, community connection, you know, feeling how there was so much isolation, and that's something that's a gift again. And then you might notice in yourself, there are things, you know, often we look at, oh, you know, what are the things that's stopping me? Where are all the wounds, you know, whereas all the patterns, oh yeah, you know, that's all these things I've got from my family. But often we may not even notice in ourselves the gifts that we may already be activating again for our line, you know. And you often hear people say, oh, you know, I just discovered that my great grandfather was a, you know, a violinist or a gardener, or, you know, I didn't know why I'm the only one in my family that, you know, can sing, or something like that, right? So we have these gifts that perhaps we aren't even aware of. So what are the gifts that, you know, you can tune into this ancestor, and maybe you can see some things being passed forward now, maybe other things that are coming forward. You know, maybe it's as simple as the gift of nurturing others, right? That's definitely in my line. Lots of nurses, you know, teachers, being mentors, guides, carers, right? So feeling back to that, again, tuning into your ancestors. What's coming through? Maybe it is gifts of, you know, someone shared about, you know, having a psychic grandmother or great grandmother, right? Abilities to really tune into spirit. And when you think back to some of the generations, there would have been some incredible gifts of healing and, you know, spiritual gifts, which, you know, may well have got suppressed or cut off. So feeling that beautiful, actually, the co-creative power of manifestation. Yes, I love that. Creating together, creating the universe, and maybe connection to nature. I'm feeling that too, right? But, you know, my mother was, you know, she showed that with her love for gardening. But I feel that way back in the lines, it was a really deep knowing and understanding of that knowledge of herbs, beautiful artists and healers. Suki, yeah, reinstating full psychic abilities. Oh, lovely. The value of kindness and compassion is Yasmin. Yes. Beautiful. Guardianship. Oh, lovely. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? You know, and what were they guardians of, right? That perhaps you're being called to something now. Okay, so still feeling into that guardianship of the earth. Yes, beautiful. Stewards of the earth, guardians of the earth. Love that. And then really feeling into that last question, like asking them, how can I be a good ancestor? Like ask that wise and well ancestor to perhaps give you some idea, a little bit of guidance around what could be your next steps. What could you focus on more? What could you cultivate that would be, continuing some good work that was already started? Beautiful. Bridging worlds, rising up in our authentic inner power. Yeah. And to really feel into the future, the opportunities that you have to create, which perhaps they didn't have, some of them, right? Maybe way back when they were in their full power, but there'll be many experiences and opportunities that you can have now that they do not have. So how do we become a good ancestor? What are we going to pass on? What's our legacy? How can we cultivate that now with who we're being now, the choices we're making now? Yeah. So feeling all of that, and you might even want to come back later to the recording and maybe journal a little bit more on this, do a little bit longer in your own time. All right, beautiful. So some great questions there for journaling. Lakshmi, self-love, trust and faith and support, protection, guidance and discernment. Yeah, right. We've seen many generations who got very disconnected from their own discernment and intuition, trust, faith. Yeah, so restoring all of that. And courage too, I think. There's a great courage that can be activated. Courage, sovereignty, something that I'm feeling too, that there's a lot of to really model that and empowerment as we make choices in our lives. All right, so let's drop into some clearing now with the compassion key. I think most of you have done it before, but some may not have, and listening on the replay. So with this process, we are literally going to breathe into our hearts, our solar plexus, and we're going to speak words of loving compassion to ourselves, to the aspects of ourselves that might be carrying some of these patterns from the past. We're going to be speaking about our lineages, so you can still imagine them all there around you, and that can give you some more information. And all the phrases will begin with "I'm so sorry." And when we're going to say "you" to speak to ourselves, we're going to say "they" about the ancestral lines. Beautiful. Forgiveness, non-judgment. Thank you. More sharing. Okay, so lots for us to activate. All right, so let's just begin with these phrases. So I'm going to say them out loud. You're going to say them out loud after me. That's very important. In the speaking of them, we are offering that compassion to the space. We're allowing our beings and the whole kind of experience of reality to shift, and the compassion dissolves these imprints, because these are imprints. All of the woundedness that happened, the experiences they had, just create like an imprint, like we were talking about before, that kind of an inscription creates like an imprint on us, on the experience that they had, on the experience of reality. And as we give the compassion, we presence that with our loving awareness, we just allow that energy to dissolve, because it's really just a residue, an energetic residue. And then when we clear that, then that possibility is there for more of their light, our light, to shine through and manifest in just better experiences here. So let's first just speak a little bit to just the fact that there were wounds and trauma in our lineages. So hands on heart, if that feels good. Otherwise, just taking a breath into your heart and your solar plexus and speaking the phrases out loud after me. I'm so sorry they were wounded. I'm so sorry they passed on their wounds. I'm so sorry the wounds got imprinted in the DNA. I'm so sorry the wounds got passed on from generation to generation. I'm so sorry they were traumatized. I'm so sorry they parented from their trauma, not their wholeness. I'm so sorry they couldn't see their own wounds. I'm so sorry they couldn't heal themselves. I'm so sorry they didn't get the help they needed. I'm so sorry they forgot how to be whole. I'm so sorry they got used to being wounded. I'm so sorry everyone forgot what wholeness looked and felt like. I'm so sorry they're sad. I'm just taking a breath and just sensing again, are your ancestors listening as you're doing this work? Perhaps they're feeling into their own hearts. Many of them will never have heard this kind of compassionate witnessing of experience. So let's speak a little bit to the kind of emotions that might be sitting there. So I'm going to say a few, and you can always add more from what you're sensing from your ancestors. So we're going to name the feelings, the experiences that are there. Okay. Again, deep breath into your heart and solar plexus, speaking the phrases out loud. I'm so sorry. There's so much fear in them. I'm so sorry. There's so much sadness. I'm so sorry. There's so much shame. I'm so sorry. There's so much guilt. I'm so sorry. There's so much grief. I'm so sorry. There's so much anger. I'm so sorry. There's so much frustration. So take a moment just to add any other feelings that you're sensing. I'm so sorry. There's so much disappointment. Maybe share in the chat if there's any other feelings that you're sensing there. Humiliation. Beautiful. I'm so sorry. There's so much humiliation. I'm so sorry. There's so much resentment. I'm so sorry. There's so much hatred. I'm so sorry. There's so much rejection. I'm so sorry. There's so much conflict. I'm so sorry. There's so much blame. I'm so sorry. There's so much revenge. I'm so sorry. There's so much betrayal. I'm so sorry. There's so much bitterness. I'm so sorry. There's so much deceit. I'm so sorry. There are lies and injustice. I'm so sorry there's subterfuge and secrets. I'm so sorry there's so much greed. I'm so sorry there's so much violence. I'm so sorry there's abuse. I'm so sorry there's poverty. I'm so sorry that some took too much and some didn't have enough. I'm so sorry there's so much hopelessness and despair. I'm so sorry there's so much rage. Yeah. I'm so sorry there's domination and there's a victimhood. I'm so sorry there's so much sickness and disease. I'm so sorry there's torture and brutality. I'm so sorry there are psychological attacks. I'm so sorry there's misunderstandings. So just take a breath. Definitely feeling all the energy of all of this. And again, I'm feeling the ancestors just passing all of these things just along the line, just to be transmuted and dissolved. I'm just going to say a couple more that are popping into my awareness. I'm so sorry there was imprisonment and violation. I'm so sorry they were invaded and dispossessed. I'm so sorry they were taken away from their countries and their homes. I'm so sorry they were enslaved. I'm so sorry they were tortured. I'm so sorry they were dishonored. I'm so sorry there was so much starvation and suffering. I'm so sorry they lost their sense of place. I'm so sorry that parents lost their children and children lost their parents. I'm so sorry that the stories were lost. Yeah, I'm so sorry they didn't have a childhood. I'm so sorry they lost the wisdom of their families and their cultures. I'm so sorry families were disconnected. I'm so sorry children had to grow up too soon. I'm so sorry it felt like they didn't matter. I'm so sorry that children had to take care of everyone else. I'm so sorry whole generations were wiped out. I'm so sorry they lost the power of the family heart. I'm so sorry they forgot the power of the family heart. I'm so sorry there was no leadership. I'm so sorry there was mediocrity and hypocrisy. I'm so sorry that good leaders were killed. I'm so sorry that so much wisdom was lost. All right, let's take a breath. Thank you, everyone, for sharing all of those. All right, so let's do a few phrases around how. Okay, let's do a few phrases around not getting the gifts and the guidance, like what we didn't get because of all of those things happened. All right. So I said a couple there, but let's just say a few more phrases together. Okay. So deep breath into heart and solar plexus. Speaking the phrases out loud. I'm so sorry their gifts and wisdom were lost. I'm so sorry their gifts and wisdom were buried. I'm so sorry people missed out on their gifts and wisdom. I'm so sorry you missed out on their gifts and wisdom. I'm so sorry they couldn't give you what you needed. I'm so sorry you didn't even know what was missing. I'm so sorry there was an emptiness that you couldn't fill. Okay, so just feeling into that. And if there's any other experiences around that, there might be something, okay, I'm so sorry you're sad. I can feel that. I'm so sorry you didn't hear the stories and the songs. I'm so sorry you didn't learn the ancient ways. I'm so sorry you lost the wisdom keepers. I'm so sorry the thread was broken. I'm so sorry that the wisdom had to be secret. I'm so sorry the keys to the wisdom were lost. I'm so sorry there are secrets within you that you don't know how to unlock. I'm so sorry there are gifts within you don't know how to unlock. I'm so sorry that you didn't have loving guides and mentors to cultivate your gifts. I'm so sorry you have to find your way back to the wisdom on your own. I'm so sorry you didn't know that they could reach out to you across the ages. I'm so sorry you forgot to ask. I'm so sorry your heart feels the pain of the loss of connection. All right, so maybe just take another breath and maybe share in the chat anything that particularly maybe pains you about not having these, ancestral wisdom passed on, not having these traditions, what might have been lost in your lines. But also at the same time, as you feel into that, just also feeling into the possibility that that does still exist within you, that that can be activated, and that these ancestors around you are ready and willing. And the more that we clear for them, the more of them are able to step forward. Beautiful. Yeah, loss of pride and connection. Yeah, that there is a pride, isn't there, in being part of, an unbroken lineage. Chantel learned not to use her gifts and talents, right? And I think we often, I don't know how many of you, even just at the level of grandparents, I never knew my mother's grandparents. Her father died 3 days before I was born in the same hospital. So, I didn't get that legacy, never really had that sense of connection and someone mentoring you from those other generations. So, feeling that, and of course, beyond that as well. What was that relationship? The idea that things are passed on, whether it's songs or recipes or gifts and wisdom, feeling that being passed on down the line. So I'm really seeing those ancestors now, wanting to offer that to you, sort of passing along the lines, ancient gifts and wisdom. And that as that's passing through each generation, through each hand, each of those people are also getting the blessing of that wisdom and those gifts that perhaps they didn't get to. When you think about the impact of particularly, wars or invasions, how much was lost, how families got separated, and even if the bloodline continued, there wasn't that cultural tradition anymore. But just really feeling that that's happening now for everybody. Like Shuni, we lack validation of our truth, the ultimate loss of self-value. Yeah, that sense of, our ancestors being so proud of us, right? So seeing if you can invite that in, feeling, they love and honor you and celebrate you because you are part of them, right? So feeling that and feeling all of the richness that's there in all of them, right? All of those beautiful souls who came to earth, expressed their talents and gifts, or some of them that didn't, but that's okay. But the gifts were still within them, right? And feeling how that all gets passed down to you as this treasure trove that you get to select from in your life now. So you're saying feeling separate from all my current blood relatives, so they're only proud of me once they're dead. Okay, that's compassion for that, right? Yeah, I'm so sorry they're only proud of you when they're dead. I'm so sorry they can't be proud of you in the living world. I'm so sorry you feel separate from them. And I'm so sorry that perceptions get in the way of true connection. And I'm so sorry that they judge you and find you wanting. I'm so sorry they don't respect the connection of your blood. I'm so sorry they don't understand you. And you know, there's definitely something there, isn't there? Sometimes I think a lot of, you know, particularly those of you who perhaps are drawn to more, you know, healing and light work, and might find yourself in a family where you do feel like the odd one out. So somewhere in that ancestry, though, is someone that really gets you, right? That there is someone there. And I think it's beautiful to really tap into that. I know for me, whenever I'm receiving a healing or something, often my mother's mother will turn up, right? Who I never met. She died a year before I was born, but she's often there. So, you know, while I didn't have a great relationship with my own mother, I really, that's very comforting to me to feel that there is someone there who's really can feel that connection. So perhaps for you, really feeling that there is, even if your immediate family can't see you in your authenticity, can't understand you. Yeah, and as Chantel says, they're playing their role, right? So yeah, often our parents, you know, we've got a constellation, parents, siblings, that are going to, you know, that we've at some level set up for ourselves. It's and really standing in the place that that's in some way going to support us to come back to ourselves, right? To find our authentic connection. But I feel it's such a beautiful opportunity, since we're tuning into the ancestors today, to really invite, you know, there will be some there who completely love and accept you as you are, who can really express that freely. They're no longer in form playing out the dynamics, the soul contracts that we have with our immediate family, right? Yeah, Chantal's saying we choose someone to withhold until we let it all go. Yeah, so these soul contracts can be interesting and complicated. Yeah, Lakshmi, I'm so sorry that I don't hear, see, or appreciate you. Yeah. So again, you know, there are imprints there sometimes for us to clear, so that, yeah, so that then we can get that reflection back to ourselves. It's a journey. Okay, Lee's saying something about the jealous and angry God. Do you want to clarify that a little bit more, Lee? Not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, gratitude for being. All right, so just sharing if there's any other things. Let's just all do a beautiful check-in again with our ancestors. Is there anything that they want to pass forward? Again, anything yet unresolved? Any other gifts they want you to know about? Anything they want to show you? And just moving into that final question, you know, how can you be a good ancestor? Like, what are they offering up to you to equip you for that? And maybe having a sense of turning towards the future and looking to the future that you're walking into, that you're creating. And what are you holding within you? Like, I can feel a lot of strength coming from the women in my family who are feeling a lot more liberated after that clearing. I was also seeing, you know, a greater steadiness and calmness in the men, coming back to that ability to, you know, to act, to protect, to be deeply in touch with their own hearts. So yeah, what are you noticing? Just share in the chat. What are you noticing that's shifting in them? What are you noticing in yourself? I'm feeling, you know, like shoulders back, head held high, feeling quite proud. Actually, it's someone was mentioning about pride. You know, can we have pride in ourselves and what we've, you know, what we've all navigated, what we're holding within us, and think of all of the strength that's held there and all of your ancestors simply for you to be here, right? That they were able to keep passing that life on. So Lee clarifying that we're separated from the divine, the punishment for being alive without worth or purpose, unless we succumb to a greater being than the earth. Okay. So yeah, I'm so sorry you got separated from the divine. I'm so sorry you lost touch with your own divinity. I'm so sorry they lost touch with their own divinity. I'm so sorry they believed in a jealous and angry God. I'm so sorry being on earth felt like a punishment, not a gift. I'm so sorry that you believe being on earth is a punishment, not a gift. And that'll be true for all of you. But yeah. Yeah, I'm so sorry they believed in a judgmental God. I think we'll have to do a whole call around religious programming at some point. Rich is there for sure. Yeah, so yeah, I'm so sorry you thought you were irredeemable. Mm. Yeah, I'm so sorry you thought you couldn't save yourself. I'm so sorry they thought they couldn't save themselves. So, taking a breath, like we're feeling the power of our own divinity here, our own love, our own compassion to heal anything, really. And so that's what's possible. So one of the things that we're probably standing, as we stand and look into the future now, we're really feeling what it feels like to be divine humans, to really be standing in our own sovereignty and empowerment and divinity. And how will that be different, right? And imagine if everyone who comes after us knows their connection to the divine, knows that they are divine creator beings, really owns that. So feeling that now, and perhaps you can send that message back through all of your ancestors who might have forgotten that, right? Those who succumb to religious programming, distortions of the truth. All right. But just feeling that, maybe feeling, I can feel sort of chains being lifted off, people unshackling themselves, understanding their own liberation, their own sovereignty, their own empowerment, just sort of shaking off all of those experiences that kept them feeling less than, trapped or unworthy or controlled. Just feeling them shaking all of that off. Yeah, perhaps just feeling the gratitude of your ancestors for the work you've done today, the work you continue to do as you step into your empowerment, your authenticity. And perhaps just taking a moment to feel, we're going to move into the activation in a moment, the light language activation. So just sharing some intentions in the chat for that. What would you like to receive through that activation, calling on some beautiful frequencies of light to help us to recode, to liberate ourselves, sharing that now so that we can bring all that into the space for our intention to receive those frequencies today. Just taking a breath. Beautifully. Balanced, powerful, feminine and masculine energies in harmonic resonance. Yay. The courage to be oneself. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah. Healed masculine. Be here on purpose and pleasure and love. Yes. Yes. To enjoy this human journey. Right. Continuing the lines in a good way. Love in the face of injustice. Yeah. Can we be love? Yeah. Really express that love here on earth. Beautiful. So really inviting all of that in. Yeah. Unconditional love, acceptance, expression of ourselves, of everyone else, choosing peace rather than conflict, feeling and seeing our unity rather than our difference and our separation. The power of love. And let's really call for this activation and these frequencies to bless us and to bless all of our lineages, not just our human lineages, but all through all time, space, and dimension and realities, wherever we feel that thread of connection. Just inviting in all of the gifts and blessings of those so we can pay those forward, the future of our planet. Celebrating that diversity within our oneness, which is really like human experience coming to individuate each of us, part of the divine, playing out our experiences in different ways. So bringing all of that love into that, just opening your heart, opening your being and receiving the activation at the level of your DNA to bless yourself and all of your lines. Ora matia satar kumashile aranatora mawai. Ingeata setetino on aremak it ikoko atanakiana akonemi itaru soji. In merkar it or nasadaji imalala no orme etare. Hinge yan an kujil mor sete ikya akon inuno maure epe. Ahadini jindon an antikinur ma asididunor an lak at inakiachat. Ro'ut ut amma ahat edenikia da at or sad an anama ak it ire ut an. Saat ichitama awaki alet an atate se ish ar mo ot e. La ata timaseke ach ele masot ich ipap awama ak ialata no korine ite. Satatashi ai ananan kote ba ayaka ayato ya sim ach akum elela ene ite. Dayenga andando ich inime se ya wayakan uno ian. Yao amaka didi it at asho no ko e aur. Ta ai nana atosh e di la anokoti. Ta also ai an ar it at one chiaka. So taking a breath. Just feeling all of that just radiating out to your ancestral lines, your lineages throughout time and space. And I was seeing that the ancestors were, there were all of these treasure chests and they were opening them up and they were taking out beautiful robes of light and putting them on. And everyone was seeing each other in their divinity. And really feeling that celebration, seeing the ancestors gathering together now, perhaps holding hands or singing, dancing, whatever that is. Feeling that for your lines, your ancestors, and that ancestor who's guiding you now, just maybe they're giving you a hug or a blessing, and then they're rejoining that group. You're a part of all of that. So just feeling that celebration, from that point of celebration that we all come to play and experience this life in different ways. It's all part of that beautiful, rich tapestry that we're weaving together. And just taking a moment to really breathe into your heart and see that light that you are shining forth into the future through your own being, feeling the DNA activated, golden, expressing your divinity as we move forward into a new future, learning to live as the divinity that we are. I'm bringing all who have come before us with us in that. Beautiful. So perhaps just taking a moment when you're ready, perhaps to share in the chat anything that you felt or noticed there. Beautiful Louise sharing, I am the world of love, peace, joy, communication, unity, integrity, truthfulness, honor, and clarity. I'm grateful for my life. This moment is my life. I'm grateful for all who came before and all who come after. The earth is free. We are free. Beautiful. Thank you for that. So if there's anything else that you'd like to share, anything you saw, anything you felt, or if you just want to stay in your own space too, that is beautiful. So maybe come back another time and listen to the replay. I'll hopefully have it out today or maybe tomorrow at the latest to feel into. Yeah, what else is there? What might you receive from your ancestors? How might they support you? What is there? What wisdom is there to be shared? Massive, Chantal. Yeah, beautiful process. Thank you all so much for that co-creation today. Definitely could feel a lot lifting off from the lines. So have a beautiful week. Be gentle with yourselves. Go drink some water, maybe stand on the land or rest a little bit or journal. Like Shini's saying, I'm seeing one of my codes for everyone. If you wish, feel free to share those with me, like Shini, if there's a code that you're feeling for this particular healing, and I will send that out with the replay. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, everyone, for being here today. Thanks to everyone on the replay too. And I look forward to seeing you. I will do one, I think, next month, December, because it'll be around the solstice, which could be beautiful, whichever side of the world you're on. So if there are any themes you want us to cover, please let me know about those. You can reply to the email, or let me know when you're registered for the next call. So yeah, I'll feel into something juicy for end of year. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful month, and I'll see you again in another month. Thanks, lovelies.